Agenda of the Township of Lyon Board of Trustees. It is Monday, October 7th, 2024. If we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you very much. We let the record show that we are all present except for Chris Enlow. He is called in ill. Also, I'd like to make note that Carol is on her way, but she's stuck in traffic. Okay, we're going to move on to the approval of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
I'll support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're going to move on to the approval of the agenda. I would like to delete the discussion on the work week. We're still in process of research, and I'd like to remove that from tonight's agenda. Everything else looks good.
I'll move the approval of the agenda as amended.
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're going to move on to announcements. Communications. I've got a couple quick announcements for everyone here. As everyone knows, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we all are wearing our pink to show that we care. It's a tough month for everybody. I know a lot of people lose family members to cancer, and it's pretty rough. And that being said, our longtime building official, David Harriman, we just lost him this week to cancer. He was a long-term employee here at the township, well liked by everybody, and we lost him, so he's gone. Other than that, I hope somebody has some better announcements. Anyone?
Well, I'm wearing the fashionable fire department hoodie.
And we love that.
That Mr. O'Neill was not able to get a.
They didn't have my size, but it is great.
Yes.
I would like to get one.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have ordered one,
I
Sean.
think Reggie, you offered it to us, but I didn't know you could get a hoodie. It's so cute.
And it didn't look good with a tie, so that was the other thing for tonight. So I decided
Sometimes
to
we
go
have
this route.
sacrifices, Sean.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks. Any announcements, anybody?
Yes, I
Go ahead.
Carol's got her pink on.
I tried. This is the closest I could get to pink.
Just wanted to let everybody know we are 29 days away from the election, and I'm sure everybody's probably tired of it by now with all the advertising we hear. But please come and get your absentee ballot if you would like to have one. You can come up to the counter, you can email us, you can give us a call. We'll make sure you get that ballot in the mail or stop by and pick one up. You can also take that ballot if you would like 9 days in advance of the election. You can put that into the early voting, which is here at our township hall. So if you do have a ballot and you want to make sure that it does count or want to see that it was processed, early voting starts on October 26th and ends November 3rd, this Sunday before the election. Otherwise, please come election day. We are here from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m. So please make sure you get your vote on.
Okay, thanks, Michelle. Anyone else? All right, seeing no one, we're going to move on to call to the public. When you come up to the microphone and talk about non-agenda related items, and please keep it to 3 minutes if possible.
Yeah, thank you. Bob Ziegler with South Lyon Area Youth Assistance at 1000 North Lafayette.
Thad Bogert, Vice Chair, South Lyon Area Youth Assistance.
Okay, our purpose is to thank the trustees for the financial support that we receive, and we put it to good use for the programs that we have. And of course, we're always looking for volunteers to help with our programs, and I have some brochures I'll be putting out on the table in case anyone is interested in getting one. And Thad will talk to about our programs.
Yeah, so Youth Assistance is such a great program. As a chairperson for a few of the programs, I get to see the impact that it has on young people. For example, back to school shopping, which happened in September, we had over 100 kids receive gift cards and backpacks. With those funds, they're able to purchase school clothes for the year. And they also have the opportunity to interact with first responders in a positive context. For example, with back to school shopping, South Lyon Police and Fire had the opportunity to pass out the items. This December, we'll have Shop with the Hero, which will involve Oakland County Sheriff's Office, Lyon Township Fire Department, South Lyon Police, and South Lyon Fire. And it's just really cool. And thank you again for your continued support.
Thank you guys.
Happy to do it. Thanks for
And
your
it is a
work.
great program, and thank everybody for that. He's put a lot of work into it. All right, come on up.
I'm not used to using the microphone. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, my name is Drew McCullough. I live at 59400 Pontiac Trail. It's my wife Robin, the rest of my family. And tonight I just wanted to offer some comments regarding the Martindale repaving project,
Okay.
or more like the paving project.
Sure.
Okay, so let's see. We started living here. We actually started our family here, and we've been living here for 13 years now. And I have to say that during that time, we've truly enjoyed living here. We've never really had any complaints. Until about now, unfortunately. So about a month ago, we received a packet from CES, thank you Leslie, regarding the plans and what's going to affect our property and the property of our neighbors as a part of the Martindale paving project. We were a little bit surprised. And that's kind of on us for not keeping up with the activities of local government. But we, my family, and all the neighbors I've spoken to, just about all of them, the other ones, I haven't actually got them yet, are all strongly opposed to this project. We're also a little bit upset that this plan could be approved without anyone reaching out to talk to the affected residents. I know you are under no obligation to do such a thing, but it would be nice. So first, this project is a bad deal for us residents that are directly impacted. It significantly alters our property, including the removal of many mature trees on both sides of Pontiac Trail. Those are kind of irreplaceable, and they provide significant value to us and to our property. Our daughters were heartbroken when we told them that the trees were going to get cut down. So that's a significant part of my motivation here today. Our yards will also be torn up. Portions of our driveway will be torn up. Utility services will be interrupted for an unknown period of time due to the utility replacements or moving. Let's see, and on top of all this, just having to deal with the general inconveniences of major construction going on for months outside of our homes. Now, this could be tolerable if there were measurable benefits or compensation, but so far I've not seen evidence of either. I did speak with Leslie from CES briefly when I first got the packet about a month ago, but ultimately I had to decline the easement request as no acceptable terms were offered or mitigations. Since then, I haven't heard anything else. Now, selfish issue aside, for me and my neighbors, the biggest problem I see with this project is the exorbitant cost associated with it. The board approved a budget of $2.6 million, $350,000 of which is provided by the county. I don't pave a lot of roads, but $2.3 million to pave a relatively small section of Martindale Road does not feel like a good deal. It could be a good deal, but we don't know, as it was approved without any competitive bidding, which, as a taxpayer, not a big fan. Now, while I don't have a copy of the 2024 budget, I did compare this project against the 2023 budget. And if I was reading it correctly, 2023 revenue was about $3 million, and there's about $5 million in the bank. Paving this small strip of Martindale represents about 75% of last year's budget, or about half of cash at hand. Now, I don't have the most recent numbers, but I don't expect that to change dramatically. Again, to me, this feels like a crazy amount of money to spend for little, if any, benefit. Now, when it comes to the benefit, I don't know what the goals were of the board to approve this project, so I've been kind of had to guessing. So I would assume that part of the goal is safety, and if that is the case, there are much more cost-effective ways to achieve measurable safety improvements for the Martindale-Pontiac Trail intersection. Namely, and which we should do no matter what, lower the speed limit on Pontiac Trail and Martindale. These are purely residential roads with no businesses on them, except for the new learning tree, but they're okay. We really shouldn't be trying to accommodate more traffic on this road. We should be trying to slow things down and maybe encourage people to take their traffic to other roads, namely Grand River, which connects to the freeways. Also, which would be far cheaper, improve signage. Maybe add some lights to the Pontiac Trail Martindale intersection. I know there's about 1 or 2 accidents a year there, so there are some conceivable safety concerns. Now, part of that recently has probably been driven by all the road construction and people trying to find new ways to get to where they want to go. But signage, lights, even the traffic light, be a far cheaper way and would likely significantly improve safety far more than intersection improvement and paving some road. My neighbor Larry, I wish Larry would come tonight, but he has some issues, he couldn't attend. Has a lot of thoughts about this one because his yard is usually where the cars end up after the once or twice a year accident. He strongly suggested, in addition to lights and signage, adding traffic monitoring devices to the intersection. I don't want to use the word speed camera, but something along those lines. Especially something to catch and ticket the more enthusiastic drivers. And that would actually pay for itself. Now, aside from cost-effective safety improvements, I can think of better ways to spend that money in general. And I have. So bear with me just a minute. Let's see, these include, as a tax refund, that would provide about $230 per household in Alpine Township. It's not bad, I like $230. Let's see, it could go to addressing the drainage concerns that many residents have been complaining about for years. I don't see people complain too much on Facebook about things going on in the township, but when I do, it's probably about drainage. Let's see, subsidize local water and sewage rates or improve the current water and sewage infrastructure. Spend it on the DDA to improve the downtown area. Improve and or create parks. The one behind us could probably use some work, aside from the fact the ground's not stable. And then there's that park down on Milford Road around 11 Mile. That's apparently going to be built for about a decade now. New library, great place to spend money. Fire department, sure, fire department can always come up with some ideas for capital expenditures. $2.3 million is roughly about how much a helicopter costs. And I don't know about you guys, but helicopters are cool. I'm sure they'd love one. Purchase residential lots, kind of like a land bank in sense. I know the township has issues with developers doing planned developments and threats or implicit threats of litigation when coming to enforce the master plan versus planned developments. Well, if you own the land and then you sell it under contractual terms, you don't have to worry about litigation, and enforcing the master plan in those cases should be easier. Also, you might make money in the process. And yeah, that's about it that I have right now. So, to summarize, we feel that this project is a bad deal for all the impacted residents. I think it's a really bad deal for the township. And I know it's already approved, but anything that's been approved can be unapproved. And that's what I, other residents in the area, my children, my wife implore you to do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any back and forth, or?
No, we can't do that in public comment.
Gotcha, thank you.
But we'll take everything you said. We've got it all on tape. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. We're going to move on to reports. DDA.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
All right, I will try to go fairly quick. This is our busiest time of the year for the DDA, so we have lots of great things coming up. Just to keep you posted on a couple items that were mentioned the last couple of months, we did have our second mandatory meeting with our Development Area Citizens Council last week. So we have met our requirements there and talked about our updated TIF plan that we'll be submitting to Oakland County for the hopeful renewal. We are still waiting to hear back from Oakland County. I just got an update today that they should be deciding next week on if they're going to be allowing some new policies for the plan submissions. So depending on what we hear back from them, we may be doing some more revisions, or else we will be moving forward with submitting our plan as is. So I will have an update for you at the next meeting. Last week, I also had the opportunity to attend a Main Street Oakland County board member training session. We actually had 4 of our board members attend with me, so that was a really great response for it. They all heard some new information. We have quite a few newer members to our board, so it was nice for them to get introduced to the Main Street program and also meet some other board members from across Oakland County. And our Design and Appearance Committee met last month and actually approved our first FIG grant recipient that we've had submitted in the last couple of years. And that is going to be for Noble Restaurant that'll be moving into the old Kensington Grill. They were approved for up to $20,000 of reimbursement for qualified costs. So we'll be moving ahead with that. We're not sure if that's going to happen in this fiscal year, though, or if it's going to roll over into next year, so I will keep you updated. The most updated information I received from them is that they are looking to open in early 2025 now. They don't think they're going to get finished by the end of this calendar year.
Did they change their name? What did you call it?
Yeah, they're changing the name to
Oh.
Noble.
Noble.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
So it'll no longer be SoCo Social. And I also wanted to make you aware, I left some information with your packets tonight that the town, or the DDA had contracted through Oakland County with a third-party contractor called POW Strategies, and we're going to be doing a strategic planning session. It is funded 75% in part by Oakland County through one of their planning grants, so we'll only be paying 25% of that cost. But an invitation was sent out to all the board members, all the DDA board members, our committee members, and some individuals that have been volunteering with us for a few years now. So everybody is welcome to attend. If they would like to, please RSVP to me so I know that you'll be attending. And even if you're not able to attend, you did get kind of a postcard size item here. This will take you to an online survey that our trainer set up for us. And that's going to help her specifically design that training for our community. So again, even if you're not able to attend that training, if you could take a few moments to do that online survey, that information would greatly help us. And then I'm going to update you on a couple of the promotions events that we have coming up. And one that we had that finished was actually through our Economic Vitality was for the first time we did a business short story event that took place at the Warbirds of Glory Museum, where business owners and entrepreneurs had the opportunity to meet each other, share their story, why they got into business, their tips and tricks along the way. We actually had 26 individuals attend, so we were really happy with the first time event turnout. Thank you to Carissa Canfield for chairing that event and Kim Yazbek, who helped out significantly with it. And we have our History on the Grand program is coming up next Friday from 6 to 9 p.m. Tickets are $25, and as of today, we have 16 registered for that, which is even bigger than last year's event, so we're very excited. Our Scarecrows on the Grand event starts up on this week on Friday and runs through October 31st. So far, we have 26 participating businesses that'll be hosting Scarecrows at Inspiration Park or actually at their businesses downtown this year too. So you'll see some voting signs out there, so please vote for your favorite display, most creative, and you'll be getting some prize packages afterwards. Then we also have Goodies on the Grand coming up, which is our annual trunk or treating event. That'll happen on Saturday, October 19th from 4:30 to 6. So far, we have 11 vendors set up, and we do need more. We are hoping to get at least 20. So if you own a business in the area or a community group and want to take part, please register as soon as possible. We have contacted with Blake's, and they'll be doing cider and donuts for everybody that day too. We expect about 300 to show up that day. And then lastly, I will just give you an update on our Lighting Up the Grand, which is our biggest event that'll be happening in December, on the 14th. We have lots of exciting things planned this year. We're actually expanding our footprint too, so we're really excited. We are working with Reyes, the Coca-Cola bottling company that's coming in. They are a presenting sponsor this year, so we're excited to have them on board. We are going to be bringing a tubing hill that will be placed on Wells Street between 2 and 7 p.m. That'll be free for the community, so kids can come out. It's provided by Z Innovations. They've used it at the Plymouth Ice Festival before. It's about 100 feet by 60-foot footprint, so that's why we're closing down Wells Street to be able to do that. So you'll be getting a road closure request at the next meeting, so hopefully they'll consider that. And we're also offering a holiday market this year from 2 to 5:45, which will take place right up until our tree lighting. And we've had some feelers put out to the community and had a really good response. So we were going to be hosting it at Mission Church, but because of the positive response, we actually talked to the schools, and we're going to be hosting it at Dolson Elementary. So we're very excited for that. So if you know somebody that's a crafter or food vendor, please let them know and have them register with us. We're working with South Lyon Area Recreation. They're going to be doing a community snowball fight. Kensington Valley Civitans are going to be hosting a candy cane hunt. We're going to have a dance performance again, face painting, magician, petting zoo. all sorts of activities. So you'll get a flyer with your next month's board packet. We'll be handing out a map of the event locations and times specifically, and we're also working with a lot of individual businesses in our downtown that'll be hosting their own events throughout the day that day too, to encourage people to sprawl in the downtown area and not just stick to one location like we have in the past. So lots of really good things coming up. Any questions I can answer?
Oh, it's really fun stuff. You guys are really doing a good job down there. Okay, anybody have anything? Come on up, Chief. How you doing?
Hi, Reggie.
Hello. So far, my report for you guys. Fire prevention for the month of September did 18 inspections totaling just over 395,000 square feet, bringing us a year-to-date total of 386 inspections and just over 6.7 million square feet. This month, September I should say, average training per member was 9 hours. This month we're going to focus on vehicle extrication and fire alarms. Actually this Saturday they're going to be doing some training behind our fire station where they're going to have 3 vehicles there and they're going to be practicing different extrication techniques. Firefighter Arnold completed his medical instructor coordinator license. And then this past month we hosted Oakland Community College down here with their rapid intervention training where we hosted Milford and Wixom Fire. And some of our members, Captain Blades and Firefighter Klein, participated in that training. So we were able to do some mutual aid training with our neighboring departments. Run numbers are up 17 calls from last year. September 23, we're at 1442, and for 24, we're at 1459. Some good news, end of this month on the 28th, Assistant Chief Harbin and myself will be going down to Sutphen for the final inspection on our new engine. So hopefully, if everything goes well at that inspection, we should have it at least here in Michigan within the next couple of weeks, and it'll go to our dealer where they have to do some upfitting for us, like our radios and things like that, to get it ready to come to our location to get trained on it, and then all of the equipment to put on the truck. So hopefully it'll be in service by the beginning of the new year for us. It'll be a little Christmas/New Year's present for us all. And you can see that Trustee Blades, and I brought one of our shirts for the month of September with it being Breast Cancer Awareness. We've got our township t-shirt, or our fire department t-shirts that we opened up to the township hall members and fire department members if they so choose to purchase one of the shirts and support the breast cancer awareness. This year we did raise, the sales are closed, but we did raise $250 for the U of M Breast Cancer Research Program. Any questions?
Good job, Reggie.
Fantastic, Chief.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Always. Thank you. Lieutenant?
You guys are leaving me for the good part. All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I have a couple of quick updates here. Let's see here. All right, this month is going to be, well, next month is going to be busy. We're starting with our annual treats for the troop. So from November 1st to the 15th, we'll be collecting all your extra candy after Halloween here at the Sheriff's Office. After the collection period is over, we will be conveying most of that candy overseas. We can't send chocolate, so we still accept it, but we can't send the chocolate if you.
Are you going to spot check the candy?
Yeah.
You spot checking it for safety?
We have to.
before it
We
goes out?
have to make sure. We need
Sure.
to take care of our men and women
Absolutely.
abroad that are looking out for us, and we need to look out for them and get rid of that candy that they can't have. All right. Next up will be our annual Coats for the Cold, November 1st through November 30th. This has been going on for about 25 or 26 years. We take all of your gently used, clean coats here at the Sheriff's Office downstairs, and we've partnered with the Sheriff Bouchard has partnered with a number of businesses within the community. We donate those coats to the homeless people through shelters here and around town. And, my last update would be, this is probably like the third time this year we partnered with the DEA for the National Take Back. We have our drug box downstairs and it's open Monday through Friday while the deputy's there manned. And if there's no deputy there, you can still come up and press the yellow call box and we'll get a deputy there to assist. But for purposes of this event, they want us to man it on a Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on October 26th. And we always participate in it because it's a good thing. More access, it's always good for us. So we will do that October 26th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for your prescriptions. Now, there are stipulations as to what we can take. There are no needles, no aerosols, and all liquids must be sealed. Absent that, we'll take it all, and it'll get processed and do what I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they break it up or they, who knows. We'll accept it, and they'll take care of it. All right, and then the last thing I need to talk about is the triennial report. I furnished a copy. Does anyone have any questions? I'm seeing none, I'm gonna, no. Does anyone have any questions related to the triennial report that I can answer right now? Numbers seem pretty consistent with last year. Now, I'm working on putting together some information related to the license plate readers or flock cameras, or flock safety cameras. I should have that probably when we do our budgetary talks or at the next monthly meeting. But I'd like to just, I have the numbers of flock hits, but I'd like to dig deeper into the actual instances. And I'll give you guys an overall view of how I think they're working, and I'll let you make the decision as to how we proceed forward. All right. So does anyone have any questions for me?
Oh, that's great. T, thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. I'm gonna go back to my seat.
Okay. Thanks. All right, we're gonna move on to Planning Commission.
All righty. We only had one meeting in the month of September, and that was Monday, September 9th. We did have 6 public hearings, which I believe these 4 of them were on our meeting, so I'll just read them very quickly. The sidewalk installation requirement was recommended to the Township Board. Change of use text amendment recommended to the Township Board. We had a front yard setback for accessory buildings. We had a very long conversation with that, and Brian's going to bring us back some additional information. So we held the public hearing, but Brian is going to be bringing that back. Also on tonight's agenda, we had the tree height at time of installation. That was recommended to the board. We had the landscape planting schedule requirement. That's recommended to the board. And we did also ask Brian to bring back, we had some questions on the fuel pump and EV charging station screens. So Brian also was going to do a little bit more investigating that. We had some questions about the size of the signs, and Carol helped us too. But we're going to be bringing that back. And other than that, that was our meeting. If you guys have any questions.
Okay,
Okay, perfect.
thanks, Patty. Moving on to the ZBA.
Brian told me for the sake of brevity, I can't make my monthly ZBA joke. So I'll give you a boring report, which was we didn't have a ZBA meeting last month, and we don't have one in October.
Wow.
And if you miss my exciting
amazing.
announcement, blame Brian.
That's really amazing that we don't have any ZBA.
I'm
It really is.
I'm pulling for it.
Oh.
That's good. We changed
But it's
the
because Brian
ordinance.
does such a good job. I got that in there.
All right, we're gonna move on to Building
So
Department.
safety
Jay.
lesson.
Yeah, evening, everybody.
How you doing?
Just a few things going on. So we had 32 new home starts in September. Some of the commercial projects, notable, I may have mentioned them before, but the on Ambassador Parkway, the Coke distribution center there, the foundation's been installed. They're now starting on the building itself, so you'll see that going vertical. You will see a concrete batch plant being erected along Ambassador Parkway West. That's to finish off the road. Amazon has applied for some transformer upgrades. As was mentioned, Noble is beginning with their project over there at the restaurant, and I think I mentioned last month, but the plans for the library have been approved by the building department. I know they're still waiting for some other final approvals. We did talk to the contractor that says he hopes, if everything goes right, to maybe start land balancing in November, would be at the earliest. Other than that, if you guys have any other questions, I could try to answer them for you.
No, the department stays busy, I'll give you that.
It does. It does.
Wow. Crazy. Any questions for Jay?
No.
All right, we're gonna move on to the water report, and the water report is the same as it was basically last month, other than they actually did give us an idea that they're gonna start clearing trees, hopefully this month. And they've asked to have Leslie do some surveying on the outside. We gotta talk about that, but hopefully this thing gets moving. I'm hoping that they're gonna start moving this thing this month for final softening plant. So that's really all I have. Well, anybody know anything else? Okay. All right, so that concludes the reports. We're going to move on to new business. We have no unfinished business, so we're going to move on to new business. The first one is the budget discussion, and I believe it's for a date.
Yeah, the 21st is what we were looking at, because I think we have a conflict with Amy's project on the 22nd, because those were kind of the dates we threw out. And I know Chris said he was good with both those dates, so are you good with the 21st?
The 21st is a travel day.
Oh, it's a travel day for
I
you?
mean,
Okay.
if we do the 21st, I would just, I guess, ask that it be as late as it can be, so I
Okay.
have a chance.
Could
of
get there,
making it.
get
The
there.
20,
How about you, Lisa?
Well, since there is no ZBA meeting that
Yeah.
month, or that day, I am free for that.
Okay.
is the 23rd an option too, still?
Well, we're set up for early voting, but it's just set up, so if we had to do it on the 23rd, we could. Yeah,
I cannot
mean, we
attend.
just, you know, they have their equipment in here, we're just not gonna mess with it. You
Okay.
know, we'll just set up the
Would that be
tables are
okay
set.
to do that?
You
I
can-
cannot attend the 23rd.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Well, now I feel like we have to pick between Robert and Lisa, and I mean, I'm not comfortable with that. I mean, clearly I'm gonna pick Robert, but I don't want Lisa to feel bad, so, can I just say that out loud?
What about
You
the
did.
24th?
Yeah, I mean, it's still set up in here, but it's closed, so we're good. Yeah.
I can't do the
Or-
24th.
Okay, that's
How about,
fine.
look at the next
Well, I'll
week.
pick Robert.
Wasn't an
and we'll
option,
do it on the
that wasn't one of the
24th.
original options.
No, how about the next week then?
Well, we have early voting, you can't come
Oh.
in this room, so
Oh,
we have to open
got
up
it.
to the
Well,
public.
we could,
Would we be able to use the conference room and just
Leave
have
all
the
the
door
doors
open?
Well, this
Or-
conference room is their break room, but yeah,
Mm.
they're done by 4:30, so as long as we start after 4:30. But if we get people,
not,
then.
I mean, you're talking about this little one?
I meant
No,
the, I meant
big
the
one.
main.
It'd have to be the big one.
Yeah.
But-
Mhm. But if we get guests, then they get to sit up with us at the table, which is fine.
We don't have Shirley. She's the only one that ever comes.
Well, we
What-
never know, so.
Yeah, no, I know.
That's the problem.
What time on the 23rd would you be looking at?
Would be after work, so 4, 5, 6, you had to go too late. Okay. Well, if we
Maybe
do
five,
on-
I
five
might
on
be
the
able.
21st, Robert can,
Thinking you could make 5, Robert?
It's a toss-up. I mean, I could call too, I guess.
Put you on speakerphone?
yeah.
I don't know if that's, I mean, we're not taking
I don't know if
action,
we
so I
can-
think that's
no,
Yeah,
we're
okay,
not
it's
taking
just a
action.
workshop, it's only a workshop.
You just can't vote over the phone.
Right.
Right.
And we don't vote.
We won't
Yeah.
vote.
And that's what I'm saying, yeah, that's the only thing.
It's
Or
just a
if you
workshop.
got notes, you could send them to us.
True.
I mean, it's just, it's really a workshop, so that's,
Mhm.
I mean, it's up to you guys, or if you wanna go, I'm going nowhere, so just. Are you available on the,
I was wondering what time.
on the
5 or 6
21st?
o'clock on the 21st, 6 PM?
I mean, if the earlier we could start would be the better, but it's
Yeah,
really up to you guys.
Making it
That works for me.
What was the issue with the 22nd?
The DDA strategic planning
Okay.
meeting is going
Oh,
on.
that's right.
So
I
we
meant-
can-
I'm
We can
sorry.
meet someplace else, we just can't meet in this big room.
Right. I may be late on the 23rd, but I could come right after my appointment, but I don't know what time I'll be here.
I like the 21st, but again, like I said, we'll just have to go around the meeting room.
Michelle, you're doing all the early voting stuff, so I feel like I want to accommodate your operation because you've got a lot of stuff going on and you're super busy, busier than anyone for the next however many weeks and weeks and weeks. So why don't you tell us? That's my feeling.
Well, I would like the 21st, just because, you know, like I said, it's that Monday and they're not set up in here
And
yet.
Robert said we could call him.
Call him, yeah,
Yeah.
we can
Or
call
you
him.
could give us
Yeah.
some
Are you gonna be in a
times.
car or something?
It'll be, it's flight, but
I don't think you can-
it would be like, you know, if I get, like, depending upon when I
Land.
land, then it's like, okay, I'd be actually getting here, but I could call
Oh,
during
I
that
gotcha.
portion is, I guess, what I'm.
Okay, all right,
All right.
21st?
Would it be helpful to do it a little later than on the 21st for you then, instead of at 4 o'clock? If you're gonna call in?
We could start I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sure it's the
it's-
general fund that you're more interested in, I would,
Usually.
I would assume, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, we could start the water, the sewer, you know, Reggie's here, we could start with the sheriff's department
Go-
and the
yeah,
fire
go with
department.
Whatever
Maybe
time works for the rest of you, and
we
I
could
will
do those
Okay.
first and save the
do
general fund
what I can.
to when he
Well,
comes.
whatever.
What time?
What time you wanna do it then? 5?
4 would work.
We-
Does 4 work for you guys, coming
Yep.
back from work, or
I
5?
mean, it depends on the freeway.
Okay, 5,
Yeah.
let's do 5 then, yeah, let's do 5 PM.
Okay, 5 o'clock, October 21st.
Mhm. Sounds good. And we'll post that workshop.
Okay, sounds good. All right, now we're gonna move on to the first consideration of the ordinance to amend the sidewalk installation requirements. Brian, do you wanna you've got all 4 of these, I believe. You wanna explain the changes and?
I will, thank you. I will try to go as quickly as possible. The sidewalk ordinance amendment, we've talked about various pieces of this through development applications that have come to the township board, but we finally put together the necessary changes to, 1, decrease the width of our pathways, which has been, I know several members of this body wanted to see that decrease to 8 feet in width. So that is a change that is in the proposed amendments. Our second goal here is to align the installation of required sidewalks with the character of the zoning district. So you'll see in the ordinances that are in front of you, we're suggesting that on lots of a acre or larger, sidewalks would not be required. The intent being those are large acre lots. You don't really need a sidewalk, and this would bear out in something like Silver Lake Meadows that was approved several months ago, where we did not require sidewalks internally. On half acre to 1 acre lots, which is something the size of maybe hidden timbers, we would require a sidewalk on one side of the road, not on both. And then on the smaller lots, a half acre or less, it'd be required on both sides, which it is today. So that would be consistent with all of our newer PD subdivisions. Our third goal is just to align the zoning ordinance and the regulatory ordinance. So that's the conclusion of that. You do have a recommendation from the Planning Commission. They held their public hearing, as Patty noted.
Okay, let's open it up for discussion. Anyone have any questions about this amendment? They do?
One question, I guess, would be just clarifying that this doesn't change the requirement to do, frontage on non-subdivision streets.
Correct.
Right, this is only dealing with tweaking internal subdivision streets.
That is correct, yes.
My only thing, I guess, is that I just think it's weird when you have it on one side of the street and not the other. It looks, I don't know, it's kind of odd. It's like, half the people have a sidewalk going across their yard, half the people don't. I mean, I suppose when you're buying into that development, you would be making that choice, but I don't know how common that is other places either. It just,
It's actually pretty common.
okay.
Everybody walks in the street, there's sidewalks on both sides,
I know.
and they just
That's
walk
a
in the
whole
street,
nother-
and I don't know what that's about, or why.
Okay.
We have sidewalks, they're perfectly good sidewalks. I'm not sure. So one side would probably be fine, but they don't
Okay.
Robert, I'd agree with you. It's a little odd, but I think you also made the same point. I was thinking too, I mean, when you're buying into that, you either decide that that's okay with you, and if
Right.
so, then which one you want. Do you want no sidewalk or do you want the sidewalk? But
And I suppose it's also not saying they can only go on one side of the
Correct.
street. If you had a developer that wants to make it consistent, they still have that ability here, right?
yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
And
these
if
are
it's one
minimums.
side or the other, it will always be the inside loop because it's shorter and cheaper, so
Oh,
they
of
won't have to
course.
spend as much money.
know.
But, and you had asked a question about frontage, on main thoroughfares, frontage lots, and that was a good point too. But, Brian, I appreciate going down to 8 foot, or 8 feet in width, cause I was one of the people who you had mentioned earlier, thinking 10 feet was excessive, so, 8 should be nice improvement.
Okay. Anybody else have anything, or make a motion? For first reading, these are all first reading?
First readings, yes.
Make a motion that we move AP 20-40 to second reading.
Support.
Oh, sorry. Go
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll move consideration of adoption of the text amendment for Lion change of user. Brian?
Yeah, thank you, John. The change of user amendments that we're proposing are to align us with how we are operating in terms of reviewing new occupants in buildings, in existing buildings typically. Today we do what we deem an administrative review, and all the departments have an opportunity to weigh in. We're formalizing that in the ordinance today, and that's what's in front of you. Unless, Carol, do you have anything to add to that? That's really where we're going. This is in the interest of safety and an opportunity to bring properties and buildings up to a more current standard when we have new users.
Okay, thanks, Brian. Everyone understand that? It's a pretty easy one. Somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to move text amendment AP-24-53, ordinance number 06-24 to second reading.
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're gonna move on to consideration of adoption of the ordinance for lion tree height at time of installation.
Okay, a year, maybe 2 years ago, we required the installation of evergreen trees to be 8 feet in height. This is a straight administrative change. We missed a table in the ordinance, so this is bringing the table into alignment with the text of the ordinance.
Okay, so that's a simple one.
I'll make a motion that we move AP 24-72 to second reading.
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, now we're gonna move on to our last item here, consideration of adoption of ordinance for lion landscape planting schedule requirements.
Thank you. So this is a ordinance amendment that will help us out immensely from an administrative standpoint. Today, when we are determining a landscape bond for any scale project, whether it's a new commercial user or one of these large PDs, they submit a planting schedule, which is the number of plants and all of the types of plants that they're going to be planting. Today, it is presented to us in a PDF or on the paper plans, and we have to go through line by line and pick out all of those plants that they're going to be installing, and we assign a value to them in our own Excel spreadsheet. It takes like an hour and a half, 2 hours, where we are billing the applicants for that time, when in reality they already have the planting table prepared. They can send it to us digitally, make our lives a lot easier. We charge them less. It's a win-win. So we want this to become part of the ordinance so that they submit that with all of their plans.
That makes sense. Okay, any questions?
I had one comment, and I let Brian know just before the meeting. Item, I think it's 4M on the, where are we at? Spreadsheet. So it's on page 1 of the red line. Just the word lands on the third line. It says schedule on the landscape plant. It should just say landscape plan, comma, a digital editable spreadsheet of the plant. There's a lot of plant and plans and very minor. So thanks, Brian.
Thank
I
you.
was looking at, so right before, I'm looking at the memo copy. So you've got the new sentence being inserted into all 3 places. And immediately before that, it's listing things like, you know, what information it is of the type, the number, the schedule, all of that. It should this moment also make those align? Because like some of them say you have to provide species, some of them say you have to provide type, some of them say trees and shrubs and other live plant materials, some of them say trees and shrubs. Like why are these not all the same list as well? I guess would be something to consider. If there's a reason that it should be different, you know, think about it and
I'll take a
fine,
look.
but-
I'm not opposed to making them all the exact same statement. Honestly, I was just looking for the
Yep.
digital portion, so I appreciate that. We can bring back what's most appropriate for the second reading.
Good catch. Anyone else? Motion to be in order.
Move the ordinance revisions in AB 2473 to second reading.
Support.
All those in favor?
Can I just
Go ahead.
request that the one
With,
change we
with
include?
the
Yeah, thanks.
changes identified.
Okay, everybody still good? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, well, that concludes our agenda for the evening. Anyone like to add anything to the meeting before we adjourn?
It's very efficient.
All right, then I'm gonna consider this meeting adjourned.
I know, that joke is a long joke. It's like a story problem.
Tigers hit a 3-run home run in the top of the ninth. With 2 outs, they're up 3-0.
Nice. It's do or die tonight. If we can't win with Scooble, then we may as well just be done. Well, and 2 guarantees 2 home games.